So you go into a hearing center, get a hearing test, get a hearing aid recommendation, and they only offer one brand of hearing aids. Why is this when there are half a dozen major brands? Let's get into it. Hey guys, Jeff here at Zip Hearing, and today I want to talk about why a huge amount of hearing providers only sell or will only recommend one single brand of hearing aids to you. I get questions about this a lot. People will call in and say, hey, I got a hearing test. The provider recommended a product for me, but they didn't discuss any of these other products on your website. So I'm trying to figure out how to make sense of that. There's a bunch of reasons why this happens, why you're recommended just one brand. Some good, some not so good. But here are the top 5 reasons why a hearing provider may sell just one brand of hearing aids. Reason number 1, and in my opinion, the best reason a hearing provider has for selling only one brand is because they want to become an absolute expert at fitting that brand. Plenty of hearing providers do fit multiple brands well, but it isn't easy. There's a lot to learn and keep up with. It's kind of like if you were to switch from an iPhone to an Android or vice versa, you've got to relearn how to use the phone. It's the same way programming and fitting different hearing aid brands. So I think a lot of hearing aid providers just say, hey, this is my favorite brand, this is all I'm going to do, and I'm going to know it like the back of my hand. And though I do think providers should know and fit a few brands routinely, I think wanting to stick with just one brand is valid. And as long as that provider knows when that brand isn't the right choice for a particular customer, and they can then refer that customer out so they can get the appropriate hearing aid for their needs, I think that's fine. And that leads me to the second reason a lot of providers fit only one brand. They just think it's the best and they think that brand has an appropriate hearing aid for everyone. I don't necessarily agree with this idea. I think it's kind of an old school mentality. The reality is all major brands make good hearing aids today. There are some brands that definitely do some things better than other brands. What's the saying? If all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. If all you have is one brand to choose from, then it can start to feel like that brand is appropriate for everyone. And I understand believing that one brand performs better than others, and if a provider believes that, that's fine. But I also think that a better than average hearing provider will have maybe one or two other brands that they dabble with, either for those odd cases where their main brand just isn't the right choice for particular customers, or just to stay up to speed on what other brands are doing. But if your hearing provider fits only one brand and their answer for why they do this is just that all other brands aren't any good, I would consider that a red flag, and I wouldn't buy hearing aids from that hearing provider. The third reason a provider may fit only one brand is simply they make more money. Surprise, surprise. If a hearing provider gives all their orders to one manufacturer, they then have more buying power and a lower price for their products, as opposed to if they were to split up all those orders over several manufacturers. Reason number 4 is because a hearing provider may owe the brand, they may owe the manufacturer, they may have commitments to order a certain number of hearing aids from them. Now I know that sounds bad, but it's just the reality. Imagine if you wanted to start a hearing aid business and you didn't have all the money to do so, and the only way you were able to start that business is if one of the hearing aid manufacturers helped you out with startup costs. And in turn, you then have to commit to buying a certain number of hearing aids from them. Not saying that's right or wrong, but it's the reality, And I think if that manufacturer helps out that person or that hearing provider to join the profession and have their own business, and once that manufacturer is paid off and that provider is able to branch out and grow their business and hire other hearing providers, that is what I would consider a net positive to consumers in the long run. So I certainly understand the argument that this is not a good reason for selling one brand, but I think it's probably a little more nuanced. I tend to believe that this isn't so black and white. It's just another thing to be aware of as a consumer if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Lastly, reason 5 for a provider selling only one brand is because the business in which the hearing provider works is actually owned by that brand. It's often not clear that relationship exists between the provider and the manufacturer, and it's not something that's necessarily advertised, but it is becoming more and more common. Hearing aid manufacturers make money when they sell hearing aids to hearing providers. But manufacturers can make more money if they also sell to consumers as well, or to customers as well, to hearing aid wearers, directly to them. So more and more manufacturers are getting involved in the retail side of things. So, a manufacturer that owns a hearing aid office isn't going to be real keen to sell hearing aid brands or competing hearing aid brands. So this is a very common reason, probably the most common reason for only being offered one brand. All right, I hope this video has provided some value for you and didn't just make this whole process way more confusing for you. But I'm asked this question a lot, so I thought it was worth just making a quick video about it. If you want to talk about any of this stuff, have questions about hearing aids, the buying process, whatever, here's my number. Feel free to give me a call or just post a comment below. That's a wrap for this video. Please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and I will see you on the next one.